Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to make a quick little announcement before we get into it. We have officially launched my YouTube community page, so if you guys are new here, welcome. I am VNailed. We post nail tutorials every Thursday and Sunday at 8:15 a.m. Central Time. Now, the cool part of our community page is that we are all going to be able to engage. So if you are a beginner nail tech struggling with anything specific, feel free to post in there and I will be more than happy to help alongside all the other amazing nail techs that may be able to help as well. I want you guys to interact with one another and help each other. So it's going to be like a safe space for all of us to kind of hang out, chit chat, and share our work. I'm going to be hosting contests and fun interactive content with you guys on there as well. So definitely stay tuned. But for today's video, we're going to be doing my lovely client Amber's nails, a super cute design for Halloween, very easy to recreate and follow. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it. Getting right into today's video, we're going to be doing my lovely client Amber's nails for her nail design today. We're going to be doing a very cute Halloween set. So she previously had a Nashville inspired design, super pink, super cute. So if you guys want to check that out, I also have it available to watch on my channel. But for this set, I am going to be doing a backfill, which essentially requires me to fully remove that acrylic with my e-file by simply filing it down, and then we're going to go in with a new color over top. Now for her specifically, I do sometimes still remove all of the acrylic even if I might be just going in with a same color. And the reason behind that is she is a hairstylist and sometimes she might get a little bit of extra lifting at the tip or in the center of the nail, and I just want to make sure that all of that is fully removed so that we prevent any moisture getting trapped under there. So if you guys have ever seen me do her nails before and we're literally going from nude to nude, that is the reason behind that. So even at this point, I believe I don't even ask her what we're doing until I am prepping her natural nail. So I just simply get to working and filing off that acrylic, and then once we are prepping the natural nail, that is when I ask her what we're doing on her nails, because I'm going to be doing the same process regardless of what we're doing. So for this step, I am using my bit from Profiles Backstage, and alongside that, I'm using my Not Polish e-file at a speed of about 12,000 RPMs. So I'm just moving continuously across the nail from the top to the bottom, from the side to the other side, to the center, to the top, to the down, everywhere, all over the nail. And I'm doing this to ensure that I'm not creating any heat spikes in any specific areas. So as long as you're moving across the nail over and over again, you will prevent that heat from spiking. So I'm going to go ahead and fully focus on removing all of that, and then we are going to be prepping her natural nail. Now, once I'm doing that, we are also going to slightly trim her nails and reshape them into this beautiful almond shape. I went ahead and asked her if it was fine to do so, so we went ahead and did that. A lot of the time, clients will come in and say they want to keep the length with it, which is perfectly fine. However, for my girls, sometimes they get a little too long for her to function when she's doing nails, so I went ahead and trimmed them just a smidge, pretty much what her nail growth was, because I know that the last set was a good length. So as long as I'm taking off the length that it grows, we are good every single time. So then I'm also going to be filing the surface just a smidge on some of the nails to make sure that everything is nice and smooth. So when I go in with my new acrylic, everything lays very smooth. Now for the natural nail, I'm going to be taking this E-file bit. This one is my mandrel bit with a sanding band. And I'm just going to go ahead and buff the shine off of her natural nail. At the same time, slightly push back her cuticles. My girl has the most perfect cuticles, so I really don't have to do much work on them, which is very nice given the fact that I try to not touch her skin at all because she does have an allergic reaction to some products that she's been using. So I try to steer clear from any type of cuticle work anyways, but they look so good. So we're going to go in and just gently buff off that shine from any portion of the nail that has the natural nail exposed, and then any acrylic that may have been left behind. I try to kind of buff that off as well, very so gently. I have my speed of my e-file at a speed of 4,000 RPMs typically, and on my not polished e-file, I knock it down to 3,000 because that thing is powerful, and the grit on my sanding band is medium grit always. Now I am going to be going in with this diamond bit just around that cuticle to ensure that I remove all that dead skin so that all the acrylic and everything adheres properly to it. I'm doing this also at a speed of about 3,000 RPMs, and then this bit is just a random one, I believe, from Profiles Backstage as well. I'm just going in very, very carefully, and you can see kind of all that gunk coming up. This part is so satisfying in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and do that just carefully on the whole cuticle area of her nail. And then we're going to get to cleaning that surface. Now I'm going to be taking a lint-free wipe and a little bit of Young Nail Swipe. We're going to be cleaning the surface of the nail, but also dehydrating that nail. So you can always skip dehydrator if you use this. I sometimes go in with dehydrator just depending on what I'm feeling. But for today's set, we are going to be using that lint-free wipe, a little bit of Young Nail Swipe, and then I'm going to be using my acrylic primer once that has kind of evaporated and you see the nail get nice and dehydrated. This one is the acrylic primer from Kiara Sky. It is henna-free, a little bit of a thicker gel consistency. I'm going to add that just to the portions of the nail that have the natural nail exposed. And then we are going to be going in with our acrylic. So for acrylic of choice today is a combination of different colors. This one I custom mixed years and years ago, so I really wouldn't be able to tell you what acrylics I used. But from the texture, my guess is fully that I used some Glam and Glitz acrylics, and I obviously used orange, brown in there to make it a little bit more burnt, and then a slight amount of yellow. I do remember that specifically. And then we are going to be using a very light kind of cover color for the rest of the nails, and then the fun part is going to be the nail art. So I'm going in with basic acrylic application for her nails. And my monomer of choice is the Kiara Sky monomer. My acrylic brush, as you can see here, is the Chaun Legend brush in a size 10. I'm taking about a medium-sized bead of acrylic and I'm placing that on her nail, pretty much covering the whole thing except the cuticle portion. And I'm using thin layers because I want to see kind of how much I can cover with that color. I do have a little bit of color left underneath from her previous set, so I want to make sure that I add enough layers but make them thin enough so that it's not super bulky. With my cuticle bead, I'm going to be holding it near the cuticle. I immediately start working it while holding the finger downwards, and then we're going to be adding some wherever I need to do so. Now that everything is nice and dry, I'm going to be going in with my e-file. First around that cuticle area with my 5-in-1 bit. The e-file speed is at about 12,000 RPMs. I'm solely focusing with my e-file just on that cuticle area and then ever so lightly on the surface of the nail. I try to lay my acrylic super smooth, so the amount of filing that I do on the surface of the actual nail is very minimal, but I do like to use my e-file when it comes to shorter nails. So if you've seen my previous videos, I mentioned a lot using my hand file. That is very much so accurate for long nails. I just prefer to use my hand file for that. But for shorter nails, it's super easy to just go in side to side with my e-file all in one go. I am going to be going in with my hand file one more time just to make sure that that shape is nice and crisp. Sometimes when we add a little bit of acrylic on that surface, we can either widen it or get a little bit of spillage underneath or whatever the case is. So I always, no matter how many times you wipe those sides, you want to make sure you are filing once you are done with the whole application. So I'm just going to go around very carefully, slightly underneath the nail as well to round that tip a little bit. And then we're going to be buffing the surface of the nail. Now, as soon as I'm done buffing, we are going in with a lint-free wipe and a little bit of Young Nail Swipe. We're going to be cleansing that surface of the nail. This is just going to take all of that excess dust that we may have left behind, especially around that cuticle area, and it's going to prep the nail perfectly for our nail art application. So for her nails, I am going to be going in with these super cute designs, super simple to recreate. I am using my Veeda Bella nail art liners. So if you guys are interested in purchasing our liners, they are available and I absolutely love them, highly recommend them. I'm using the long liner for this and it has been such a game changer when it comes to doing checkered print, Frenchies, and any line art or even infilling, because I use it for this as well. And I have thoroughly enjoyed this brush. So do note that our brushes are double-sided, so you get 2 in 1. So that's kind of a cool little fun fact. I'm going to be going in with that orange color. I believe I mixed this to kind of match that acrylic that we placed on the pinky nail. And so we're just going to be doing our checkered print. As you can see, I did horizontal lines and then vertical lines, and then we're infilling the little squares. Always cure in the light whenever you feel it is necessary. Depending on what I'm doing, I'll either do it individually or I'll do all fingers and then cure. Now for this middle finger, we're going to be doing a light pink color, and I'm going to be adding that to the tip, kind of wavy type of design. And then same liner brush that I'm using, we are infilling that tip, and then we're going to cure in the light. I'm going to be adding a thin orange outline around that as well. I always make sure that I wipe those sides before we go into the light so that it is not super bulky at the tip. Now for our middle finger, on our other hand, we're going to be doing a little ghost. For this, I like to start with the top of the ghost shape, and then I kind of just bring the rest of that gel down, and then I start adding in the little details. So for this one specifically, because it is an almond shaped nail, made it super easy to do. I'm just infilling the rest. I am adding a tiny little kind of hand little portion. So that's kind of what was sticking up. We're swapping back over to the other nail, and that's when we are adding our outline. Super simple, same liner that I am using with that same orange color that I previously used. Now we're also going to be doing a combination of kind of like a crazy nail art design. Not so crazy as in hard, but it's just like a really fun design. So we're doing dots, stars, hearts, and a little bit of flowers in one of the nails. Now, once we are done with that and it is curing, I'm going to be going back into the little details of our ghost. So I'm really just swapping back and forth as I need to. If one hand is curing, we're moving on to the other one. If this hand's curing, we're moving on the other one. I make sure that I'm continuously working and not just sitting there waiting for something to cure. So I went ahead and outlined with black, and then we're going to be adding the little eyes and all the tiny little details with this same liner. Swapping back over, we're also going to be using that same black gel for our little bats. So I'm starting with the center, and here shortly I'm going to show you how to easily create the little bat wings. I really just did like a hand painted wing on one side, and then for the other side there's a super easy way to get your little wings nice, cohesive, and perfect. Now for that, what I like to do is just do the top portion of a bat, and it's really just like a curved line. And then we're going to be adding 2 straight lines down where you want your points to be, and then you just curve those in, infill, and you're good to go. So you do as many as you want, but I do stagger them to be slightly smaller than the first one. Now moving on to the fun little accent nail, we're going to be doing a star. So to do that, I always do like starting off with a capital A, and then we're going to do diagonal lines out on both sides, and then we're connecting all of those and infilling the center. Same brush, same gel paint, and we're just infilling. I'm also, like I mentioned, adding a heart, little dot details, and a flower. And as you guys know, I don't own a dotting tool, so we're just using the back end of a bit. I did go ahead and add all the tiny little details. final cure in the light for a full 60 seconds, and then we're going in with top coat of choice for today's video. It is the stain resistant top coat from Profiles Backstage from their Babe collection. Absolutely love it. It goes on so smooth. I'm going to be adding a thin coat of that, and we're going to be fully curing in the light for a full 60 seconds. But that pretty much concludes today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned a ton, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.